Right, now Liam, the big rivals are Tottenham, traditional rivals to Arsenal. They managed to beat Bournemouth, who, really wouldn't be in the same league in terms of resources. 1-0 at Wembley. Eriksen scored a goal 2 minutes after half-time. I saw that game, and I still think they're struggling a bit at Wembley. What do you make of this idea, Liam? Because you've played there, you both played there, and I put my belief, which isn't exactly original, that playing at Wembley, when you've been at White Hart Lane, that tight little fortress where the passion is spilling over almost onto the touchline, going to Wembley with all that gap between the crowd, I think it is a problem for players. Do you?
Might have been initially, Eamon, but they should be well and truly over it now. And they did beat Dortmund at Wembley in a really good showing, So I would have put it down to the Premier League. It's you get teams that are organised, you get teams that are set up, and then they're difficult to break down. I think John touched upon it a few weeks ago that the pitch may be a bit big for the likes of Dyer in the middle of the park and Dembele in the middle of the park because they're not particularly quick players, and the way Spurs play is they're the holding players, they're the ones that are stopping the opposition, and they probably do lack a creative player in that central midfield position. But up front, I think they've got options. I think Eriksen is a terrific player. Dele Alli, when he's on form, is a top player as well. And Harry Kane is scoring goals for fun. So, I think Tottenham are in a good position to have a very, very good season. I think they'll get a run in the Champions League after the start they've had. I think they'll qualify for the next stages at the expense of Dortmund. It'll be interesting to see how they play against Real Madrid tonight. I'm looking forward to that. But I think Tottenham are a good side. If you're going to say anything, maybe in the long run, that it'll be their squad that will be the weakness as they come to the last few months of the season, because it's not the strongest. It's not. When important players do miss games and get injured, they haven't really got the replacements, and as we know, that can make all the difference. I don't think Wembley is a factor anymore.
You don't, John?
Well, I tell you my theory. I might have given it before. I don't think it's anything to do with the crowd. I think players get used to the crowd. The atmosphere is a help, but when you're on the pitch, you're on the pitch. The last thing that Spurs need, particularly in the midfield, is space.
Right.
At Wembley, obviously, you've got more space.
Yeah.
Right, now you've got Dyer, Wanyama, those two in particular. The last thing they need is space.
Yeah.
Because they don't know how to use it.
Right.
They don't get on the ball. They're not creative in any way whatsoever.
Yeah.
So White Hart Lane suited them better because they're on top of the opposition.
Yeah.
Nobody has much space anyway. Right, so when they're playing at Wembley, they're playing against opposition who do have midfield players that do enjoy space.
Yes.
That they don't get at White Hart Lane.
Right.
So they're very good at the back, they're very good at the front. But in the middle of the field, again, especially with Dyer again and Wanyama, neither of them want the ball in. Neither of them get on the ball. Right. So Wembley, with the space that they have, which should be an advantage, actually, in my opinion, is a disadvantage to them.
Right.